Hi friends, MD Vegan and with corn chips. Take 3 recipe. Very easy today. That's something nice, I have only 3 ingredients in this kind of recipe, and it's all about the ingredients. It's a produce-centered, produce-focused method I found, because it's all about the produce. You can't play around and say, okay, I take another one. No, you have 3 ingredients, that's all. You can't shift them, or it's another recipe. And when you have these ingredients, it's all about the quantities, the proportions. How much of this, how much of that. And there you can have so many interesting changes. Yeah. It's decisive. For example, this one, I have 1 pound of corn. You see? Just 1 pound of corn. It's the base. That's all I need for the base. It's sweet corn. It has been frozen. You can also cut it from the crop fresh, but they are so nicely available here in our health food shops. All over the year, very inexpensive, and yeah, wonderful, really. I would have them there. So nice. So I put this into the blender. Yeah. That's the base. Now I have to get it running. And on the teflex sheet, it has to be very thin, so I need something to make it smooth. And for that I take coconut flesh from the young coconut. This is from one young coconut, and we know there are different ones. Some have very thick flesh, some very thin, very soft, and this one is medium, you see. The little brown things don't really matter. From the inside of the peel doesn't really matter. But I don't take all of the coconut. This medium coconut thickness, flesh, so to say, I only take half. Because when I take too much, the whole thing, I won't get so crunchy. Yeah? You want a very thin layers of the chips, the crackers, to get them crunchy. And with too much of the coconut flesh, that gets too chewy. We don't want to have it chewy, we want a crunchy chip. So half. I take a little knife and cut it in half. You see? Half. That's the first thing I have to learn. When I took too much first and it really didn't work out. So now, half. And same thing with the salt. It has to be a pretty amount of salt. This is 1 teaspoon. A heaping teaspoon, yeah? And Himalayan salt. It's also interesting, different kinds of salt have different flavors. Himalayan salt is not so sharp. It is full of minerals. That's why I like it. It's my favorite salt. I always have it in there. It's a little bit more expensive, but I don't need so much salt anyway. Just a little bit. And it's also healthy. And we need salt, yeah, but not too much. So here goes 1 teaspoon. If it's too much, it gets too much, all the flavor is destroyed. If it's too little, the flavors of the other ingredients won't really play together. They are, just for themselves. That's how I would explain it. Yeah, a real chef, a professional, they know the salt has to come to a certain amount, a perfect amount, and over the amount, all destroyed, and below the amount, the other flavors don't really play. So I think 1 teaspoon here is the perfect amount. I will see. So probably I need some water to make it blend easily, and I save the coconut water. The rest I won't need. The rest I will drink. And coconut water is, that is the healthiest drink, I guess. Might be the healthiest ever. Because it has the same kind of electrolytes in the coconut water than in the human blood. So you can take it and replace it for the plasma. If you don't have the plasma in the hospital, they take coconut water. So that's how good it is. It takes 9 months to get the water into the coconut, so it's super pure, super delicious, and full of rich nutrients. So that's why I like it a lot, and I will drink it afterwards and so enjoy. Yeah, coconut water is wonderful. Go to India, go to every street, they cut it open, you need a straw with yourself, you drink it and you're happy. India is cool for that. Many other things are. So now blend it up and dance, the blender dance. the corn really smooth. And they are tough, they have a hard skin, the corns. So it needs a lot of blending. I did many corn crackers, different kinds of, and I know to do with the food processor, as some suggest, to me it doesn't really work because I want them so smooth and they don't get that smooth in the processor. You need a really good blender for that. If you don't have a really high power blender, just take a normal blender, regular blender, and do it, and you don't have it so smooth. It goes, it's so nice, the corn is so sweet, it doesn't really matter, but I want it so soft now. So here, but before I put it in, I know it's good, but I will taste it anyway. You should always taste. Looks very nice and smooth. Texture very nice. To spread on the teflex sheet also, very nice. Let me taste it. Awesome. Awesome. Yes, I thought it would be. I show you when it runs into the container. I need to put it in the container to share it evenly on 2 teflex sheets. You see what it looks like? It's a perfect texture. It has to be blended, I repeat it. You have to blend it really long, make it smooth. Get it out of here. And I need to put it in the container because in the container I see how much I have, the quantity, and then I can share it in 2 even parts. Otherwise, if it remains in the blender, I take it out of the blender with tablespoonfuls on the sheet to spread it evenly for the crackers. Then I don't know how much is left and how much I will need left for the other. And I know for this quantity, for 1 pound of corn, I will make 2 teflex sheets of my dehydrator. I'll show you in a moment. So this is approximately it. I could be a little bit more thrifty. It's okay now. See, this is what I have here. Now I see the quantity. See, this is the quantity. I show you my teflex sheet. It's here, prepared it. I have 2 of these. Yeah, this size. This is the normal Excalibur. They are different on the market. I have the Excalibur. It's one of the earliest ones from the States, and they are really good for the raw food guys. They have them, invented them, and have the money recipes for that. Dehydrators have been in history for the cooking very long. Before we had refrigerators, all was dehydrated. But now we have these kind of things, especially for the raw food, for the cakes, for the crackers, and these things. So what I'm doing now, I take the half on this. Yeah, this is good, a good spoon. So maybe this is half. Yeah, about half. The rest for the second. Maybe it's too much a little bit. Okay. It's all about. So now I spread it. You see, it's easy. And it's also nice, if you have it very nicely blended, then it's easy to spread. And the texture is very nice to get. And there's one more thing. If you take the wrong texture, too little water, too much water, yeah, too much coconut flesh, too little coconut flesh, these things, yeah, then you have a problem with the surface of the crackers because they can cripple up, yeah, they can all tear apart, and then you have a mess. It doesn't really matter because it tastes good anyway, but it's nicer to have the nice shape of the crackers, right? Even. So I will see what happens now. I will put it, this layer, this thin layer, put it into the dehydrator and have a low temperature, the lowest temperature possible in my dehydrator. That is about 40 degrees Celsius, and about 104 Fahrenheit, I guess. Not sure, you have to make sure. And after a while, when it's a little bit firm, then I score it with a knife. I'll show you that when I come back for my video. So I show you in a second what it looks like. Seems to be the right amount for one layer, for one. Oops. Let's see. It's not finished yet. There are some dark spots, some brown spots where the the sheet is looking through, shining through. It's a little bit more even. Oh, now we're a little careful. And this should be it. Almost got it. Yeah, it takes some care here. It's like a bakery. And you have to be very careful here. Aha, I spoiled it here in the corner. So now it's better. So, and it's nice when they're really thin. And they can be crispy. And they keep it stored in an airtight container. Here, that's what it looks like. You see? This goes into the dehydrator. I take it out after a while, score it, I show you, I come back and show you, and then it goes back in the dehydrator. Then I flip it around later, and then crisp. So see you in a second. So break time here for the dehydration. Now 3 hours or so, I waited. And now look here, there are some breaks in the surface that I showed you. You see these? But it is still soft, so I can help. I can just take this tool and scratch a little bit to get it over the fingers too, the hands, and make it a little bit more, press like this, make it a little more even again. Yeah, that helps a little bit. On some sides it's already a little bit too firm, too hard, too dry. I waited a little bit too long, so that it's not easy. When you wait too long, it's not easy to cut anymore. See, with a knife, and I have to make the scores, and usually I would do this. Just score it like this. But I cannot do it here on the grid here. And it's not even. I have to do it here on the wood, like this. But if you don't score it like this, then you have to just break it in pieces afterwards. That's okay too. Then you don't have these even triangles or whatever shape you like. Then you have just broken pieces. But that's okay too, you know. So now I score it with a knife a little bit, and when the crackers are already too firm, like they are now, then the danger is that you cut the Teflon sheet, and that would be expensive because you buy a new one and you pay $10 or so. That's not so clever. So you should be cut it earlier. See, a little bit. I show you. I have now, you see the scoring here? And I go on for a while, like this, and I show when it's finished, okay? So see you in a bit. So 2 hours later, I show you what it looks like. Here, and a little bit drier, so I can score it now. And you see there are some cracks here, on some places here, you see might be here a little bit. And then you just take some water. If it's too hard already and cracky, you go with the fingers over the cracks and you try to even out a little bit. There's a little bit you can do, not too much, but if you are a little bit too late, if you wait a little bit too long, this is always what you can do. The water is good. Because then it's getting softer again, and you can work on it a little bit, like a sculpture, the surface, just to even out a little bit. And then we've done that, then you can take the knife, put your knife here, but you have to take it down then from the grid. This is the grid, and when you cut on this here, that is not even, not nice to cut. Put on a cutting board like this, and then you do the diagonal. For example, if it's one way to score it, you can do it the way you like. I like these triangles, triangle scoring. It's sometimes I prefer the triangles, and the other diagonal from here. Just pressing with the blade of the knife, the sharp side, on the surface, just to score it a little bit. It doesn't need to be really cut, just to show to make some lines. When it's dry, then later, when it's ready, you can crack along the lines easily. So then after the triangles, after the diagonals, I make squares through the center, and then I go on. I show you. That's what I have so far here. You see it, squaring like this. You see? Yeah, you can see. So it's a two diagonals and two squares. See? So that's the beginning. And then I do some more. Yeah. I have to pull it along the cutting board. So here. So along the small square, the 4 squares, I do some more squares. There are no centers like this. It's pretty easy. Just a little bit. You have to a little bit be careful. The small squares have triangles too, diagonals. Here. So you always squares and diagonals and triangles. So that is not very difficult. I'll show you in a second. But if you have another way to cut it, I would be glad to know. So I put it on my dehydrator again, on my grid here, layer, tuck, and I'll show you what it looks like now. But I cut it. So that's how I scored it. How I scored it. See, now small triangles always everywhere. You see, and this, yeah, I'm gonna dry this until I can peel the whole thing down, off, and turn it around on a grid or on a mesh, like this. There's another part of this. So then later it comes onto this, yeah? And then it dries to the end. So that's what I wanted to show you now. And I guess now you know everything you need to know. It's just the point that you have to take it out after the first dehydration to score it. That's important, not to do it, to wait too long. Otherwise, it's difficult, as you saw, it's difficult to cut it, to score it. That's it. So have fun with the crackers. Tell me what you do, and subscribe and leaving on YouTube. Then have another recipe every single day. And you can also see me on Facebook now, and I have a new site there. It's a page. It's an MDV, like YouTube channel. So yeah, see you there.